Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the IT Investor Podcast, where we help business professionals, especially those in tech, turn their earned income into passive cash flow and long term wealth. I'm Pramod Gudishetty, and with me today is my good friend and co host, Wally Taylor. Wally, you and I talk about deals all the time, right? But today's episode isn't about numbers, spreadsheets, or IRR calculations. It's about people.
Yeah, exactly, Pramod. I mean, you can analyze deals all day, but at the end of the day, real estate really is a relationship business. The true success of a project or an acquisition depends on the team you put together.
Yes, you're right, Wally. And you need a reliable agent to find deals, a banker who believes in your numbers, an insurance agent who protects your assets, a contractor who picks up your phone in the middle of the night to fix a leak. And last but not the least, the property manager who treats your property as his own.
Yeah, once you start scaling, you better have a good property manager who treats your property like its own. That's going to be the key to a successful investment property.
Yes, Wally. And if your team is solid, your stress stays low, right? And that's what we are diving in today, relationships in real estate, how to build your power team and keep it strong. So let's jump in.
Yeah, Pramod. So coming from data and a tech background, when did you realize that relationships matter more than just, good underwriting and a solid spreadsheet?
Honestly, Wally, early on. So in tech, when something breaks, you fix it yourself, right? But in real estate, you can't do everything alone. I once had a lender extend a deadline purely because we had a mutual trust, and it saved the deal. That's when it hit me that relationships can protect you in ways that data can't.
Wow, that's awesome that you're able to save that deal like that. It's true. People do think oftentimes being a real estate investor can be a solo grind, but you can only go so far by yourself. The right team you put together behind you really does multiply the power of your deals.
Yes, and exactly when things go wrong, and they will, right? Your relationships are what will get you through them.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Wally, now let's start with the first relationship, which most investors build. It is their real estate agent. What makes him or her a great one?
Yeah, really the most important thing with your agent or your broker is having somebody who understands your goals. And it's important to set those goals with that agent. I'm not interested in an agent who says, hey, this one has a nice kitchen. I want to know this property has cash flow potential. Rent could go up here with this value add opportunity. Those kind of things. I want that agent that thinks like an investor themselves.
Yes, and they should be thinking like it as a business, right? That's what we are here for. Anyway, so Wally, my first deal, as you remember, it was near Virginia Beach in Portsmouth. It's a 12 unit. So I have informed my agent of what I was looking to purchase. And what I told her was I was looking for a C class 8 plus cap and a value add. When something came up, she called me right away. And because of her alerting us, we were able to move with that deal in 24 hours. And today, believe it or not, it's still one of my best performers. As I have alluded to you in our last podcast recording, a value add.
Yeah, that's awesome. You make a really good point there too. Relationships are two ways, right? But you're expecting to have this good communication from a broker who understands what your goals are, but then you also want to respect them and their time when they're sending deals to you. Like, let them know this deal works for me, this deal doesn't. Just don't leave an email unanswered. That's how you lose out on future deals. Yeah, I was going to say, like, too many investors kind of say, send me the good deal, good deal, but you do have to define what that good deal means to you, right? That's another important thing as well. That communication back and forth with the agent is super important.
Yes, and to be specific, you just need to inform your agent or a broker what's your buy box or what's your target return that you are looking and what is the risk tolerance that you would like to take. And always remember that agents are always looking for serious buyers. And they don't want to waste time.
Yeah, once you can prove you're serious, that's when that deal flow really starts to happen. Some key takeaways for our listeners. Does your agent know your buy box? Like, if not, you need to fix that right off the bat. And also for you, do you know your buy box? If you're just getting into the business, you need to actually sit down and define what that actually is. It's really important to be responsive and reliable and respect time of the agent, right? Loyalty will compound. Next up is a banker or the lender. This one's all about trust. Pramod, how do you build that relationship?
Yeah, it's simple, Wally. Basically, you treat them also like as part of your team. Don't just reach out to them when you need the money to close the deal. I do send them quarterly updates, even for properties they didn't finance because it builds trust and credibility.
Man, that's a great idea. I would never have thought to have done that. So you do, let me ask you this. So you're sending them quarterly updates on properties that you finance with the lender, and then you also send updates on pieces from your portfolio, even if they're not the group you financed with?
Yes, that's right, Wally. And the reason why I do is because I do want to build that trust and say that I'm a serious person and not just shopping for numbers.
Sure. I love it. Yeah, I love that. That builds that credibility. It's also important too to not always chase the lowest rate, right? Like once you've built that relationship with the lender, it's good to have that person that you can call, when a deal's about to close. It's worth having that person that'll answer right away. You mentioned earlier that you had a holdup on another deal, and that lender helped save that deal for you.
Yeah, that's right. And when things are not going according to your wish, they can save and rescue the deal.
Yeah, so you got to ask yourself, would your lender vouch for you if you needed an exception? If the answer is no, start strengthening that relationship now. And you've mentioned a couple great ways to do that. Some key takeaways for listeners right now: with your lender, you want to build credibility with consistent communication. Keep those financials clean and ready, and of course, relationships, not rates, are what closes those deals.
So, Wally, now let's look at the third person in our relationship stack, which is the insurance agent, who is your risk manager, right? Although they don't look glamorous, but it's one of the most important relationship you need.
Yeah, it's definitely someone you want to have there when something breaks, right?
Yes. And your insurance agent is your risk manager, right? I mean, they are the ones who protect us from downside when life happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking back to when I was doing single family. I had a leak once, and my insurance company, they denied my claim at first, and so I called my agent. He was able to get on the line personally with the adjuster, clarified what my coverage was for the property, and then actually got my claim approved. That's when I realized it wasn't just about like my policy and the company I was with, but it's about having that right insurance agent that helped protect me in that time when I needed it.
Yes, it's great because you need an agent who can understand what your investment is and not just selling insurance, which is a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't always want to just go for that cheapest quote. I mean, of course, cost is important, but finding a person who's going to answer that phone whenever you're trying to call when something's going wrong is important as well.
Yeah, Wally. And let's look at what are the key takeaways from this. The first thing is work with an agent who knows your investment or the property itself. Review the policies annually and communicate with your agent on a regular basis.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there too. That annual policy review is really important because we do see, markets, the conditions change quite quickly. Replacement costs can change from year to year, and having a proactive agent that will do that review for you without you having to ask, that makes him an incredible asset on your team. Let's switch this up for a second. This next member of our investment team stack is probably my personal favorite. We're going to talk a little bit about your contractor.
Yeah, a contractor can make or break your returns, right? I mean, the best contractors are always busy. So you have to earn their loyalty by paying fast, communicating clearly, and respecting their time.
Yeah, I think you hit that one on the head. Like number one is paying fast. If you can pay your contractor on time, they'll become your best friend. I think back to when I was one of my general contractors I work with now, somebody I've known for, since we were, early 20 somethings. And I actually spent some time doing some rough framing for him at one point, building houses. And it seemed like whenever we were trying to get paid by somebody, we were always chasing down a check. So if you can pay that contractor, you're suddenly their best friend and you're number one on their list of priorities. Also too, when you're building that trust, you want somebody that's going to answer that phone, even if something's going wrong in the middle of the night. You've got a leak, you've got something, air conditioning goes out. You want somebody who's going to take that phone call and fix that problem right away.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, Wally, at our apartment, we had a leak and it was a freezing night at 1 a.m.
Wow.
And my contractor showed up. That wasn't luck,
Yeah.
This actually happened because we treated him very well over the years by paying on time, communicating with him and maintaining a good relationship. This didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, I'm noticing a recurring theme here. It's all about nurturing those relationships. Yeah, building that trust. Another important thing too is when you're working with a contractor, especially when you're first starting out and kind of learning, feeling somebody out. You want to, I mean, everybody for sure, but especially when you're first starting to work with somebody, contracts, very important. Put everything in writing. Make sure the scope of the project is in writing. When work is done, make sure you get photos of before and after. Make sure change orders are kept track of. You want to keep both sides accountable. If things are written down and everything's written somewhere, there's no way to say that things weren't communicated correctly.
Yeah, I like it. You have put that very good. So the bottom line is the contractors they're not just labor, they are part of your business engine. So let's look at what are the key takeaways for the contractor. Always use written agreements, pay them promptly and fairly, build loyalty before emergency happens. Okay, Wally, now let's look at the next relationship, which is the property manager. I consider the property manager as a quarterback of our operations. Wally, what is your top quality to look for in him?
Well, you mentioned it. If he's the quarterback, he's going to be able to communicate to the rest of the players on the team, right? So, yeah, hands down, communication. I want a manager who calls me with solutions, not just problems when something goes wrong.
Couldn't agree more. One of my managers once noticed a water bill spike, so he took the initiative and found an underground leak. And he fixed it before it caused thousands of dollars of damage. That's ownership, which I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's the type of partner you want. I agree, Pramod. Someone who thinks like they own the property. And you have to learn a certain level of trust too.
Yeah. And how we can achieve is this by setting expectations early, right? Asking for the reports on a regular basis. Maybe it is twice a month or every week, and asking for what is the response times that he or she will fix things, what is the delinquency, how are rents collected, what are the targets. Check in regularly with them, not just when something breaks.
Yeah, I agree. It's setting those expectations with your property manager. And also, if you're treating them like a partner, you could get creative with how they're paid too, right? Maybe set a bonus structure so that they're paid off property performance, not just a salary. That way they kind of feel like they've got some stake in the game. So quick gut check for some of our listeners out there. If your property manager calls today, would it be a complaint or a solution? Like, how's that? How do you feel when that phone call's coming in? That kind of lets you know how that relationship's going with that property manager. Some key takeaways. You want to set clear KPIs early on in the relationship with that property manager. Check in consistently both ways. Are they checking in with you? Are you checking in with them? And then, of course, you want to treat them like a business partner, not just a vendor that you're paying every month.
Yes. Okay, moving on. We have covered the 5 roles, Wally, but how do you actually maintain these relationships long term?
Yeah, it's a great question. You've probably noticed some common themes with each one of these relationships. The most important probably being communication. It's simple. It's really simple. Communicate, appreciate your people, reciprocate, stay in touch even when you don't need something from somebody in your partner stack.
Exactly. And send them thank you messages, whether it's a holiday or festivals. And also send referrals. They love it. And when things go wrong, because they will, stay calm and handle it with respect.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the thought of sending those thank you text messages, holiday card. Like, just treat them as they're people, right?
Yes.
People like to think that you care about them outside of just the day-to-day stuff of the business. And that's how you get remembered as an investor that people want to work with, because in this business is built on relationships. Your reputation compounds faster than your capital.
Yeah. And I want to add this too. Treat every relationship like an investment. If you pour into it, it will grow. So if there is one takeaway from today, it's that real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. The right relationships build your net worth and your peace of mind.
It's a great point, Pramod. Relationships are really like equity. They grow if you nurture them. You can't just automate that trust.
Yes, Wally. And when you invest in people, wealth is a byproduct. Yeah. So to the viewers, if this episode has resonated with you, share it with someone who's building their own power team. And if you want to see how we partner with agents, lenders, and managers nationwide, send us a DM with the word TM on LinkedIn, and we will send you our investor guide and invite to our next live webinar.
Yeah, and do not forget to subscribe. I don't want you to miss a future episode. We've got upcoming episodes on deal analysis. We've got due diligence episodes, ways to scale the right way. Please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one from us. Thank you.
Thank you.